welcome back. I know I said I wouldn't cast on a new project until I was done with at least 3 of my whips. I casted something on. It is the Scrunchie Bag by Loopy Studios. And I'm using these 2 yarns. I already had them in my stash. This is a Turkish yarn. It's 75% acrylic and 25% wool. I originally purchased these to knit a pressed flower kerchief, but then I never did. And to talk about the reason I casted this on was because I uploaded my first YouTube video, which was like a big thing for me. Even though it's just for fun, I was like glued to the YouTube Studios app. And it was just like refreshing and trying to see how many people watched it. And 5 hours in, it was 8 views. And I was like, you did a good thing posting that video. And I felt like I could use a treat, which was this one for me. And then also I was watching Ava Paula's yarn stash organizing video, and there she said, I'm never gonna finish my whips because I know they're probably not my style anymore. Which technically is something we all know, right? We all know that a whip that is 2 years old is not gonna be as enjoyable as it was 2 years ago. And I thought, why am I pressuring myself to finish my whips before 2025? I'm not gonna talk myself out of trying to finish my whips, but I will loosen my rules a bit. Not to expose myself, but I haven't worked on any of my whips since I shot that video, which is kind of funny because wasn't it supposed to make me knit on them more? Because I was supposed to get ashamed of you and try to finish them faster. Apparently it doesn't work like that. I'm timing myself knitting on this because I'm actually curious to see how long it takes. I have to admit, this is taking longer than I thought it would. But then again, I don't know what I was expecting. Should I remove that? It's my yoga mat. Ugh. It's my yoga mat that I've been using as a blocking mat. Not that I block anything. To me, blocking is just washing and laying it to dry. Because I actually ripped a sweater once trying to block it. Thankfully, it wasn't a hand knit one, because I would have lost my mind. I'm actually incredibly excited for this project. I already have an outfit idea on my mind. That's why I did my hair this way. This morning, I thought I would be done with the project, which is really funny. Because how am I gonna be done with a project in 2 days? Some observations about this pattern is that it's not mindless, and I have to keep the pattern open at all times. I don't know why. I thought it would be a super mindless knit, but you're doing something every 10 minutes. I've been seeing a lot of Korean YouTubers knitting this bag, and it was somewhere in my mind that I was gonna knit this. Didn't know now, didn't know. I can't believe I truly thought I would be done with this in 2 days. By the way, I don't know if you have recognized, but I knit both continental and English style. For reasons I don't even know. I do. I learned to knit continental. Actually, I learned to knit Portuguese style, which I'll show you in my next purl round. My grandmother taught me how to knit, and it is, I'm not sure if it's exactly Portuguese style, but it is a variation, I believe. And purling in that style is very comfortable. In fact, when I first started knitting, I was confused at the comments of like people hating purling, because I actually really liked purling because I was still knitting in that style. But now that I switched over, I do understand why people hate purling. In fact, whenever I purl too much, my hands hurt. I'm knitting both English and continental because I once saw a video on Instagram of someone saying they knit English style when they're working on a project that uses 6mm needles or larger, because it's more comfortable for her to knit English style with super thick needles. And I was like, that makes sense. And I tried it. And I loved it for some reason. So now I go back and forth in between like English style and continental. And then what I'm doing here is called flicking. And this one I also came across online. So I was looking through like TikToks of knitting pages, and a woman were replying to a comment that said continental is much faster. So she shared a video of herself knitting while flicking, which looked incredibly fast. So I thought, why don't I try it? It's always good to learn new techniques, right? I tried it. And it stuck with me. So now I'm going back and forth between continental, English, and flicking. But yeah, let me show you. And now she's surprised at the way I knit, because she cannot fathom not knitting the way she taught me. Not in a bad way, she just never learned how to knit any other way. And I remember discovering Portuguese style knitting, and I was like, what? Was this a thing? Rebecca from Creabea once did a Zoom knit along, and I attended that. And I was trying to show everyone, look, this is how my grandmother taught me. Because I thought it was a Turkish thing. And they were like, yeah, it is called Portuguese knitting. I was like, what? Let me show you. You put the yarn like this. And then with your middle finger, you wrap the yarn around to tension it. And then you're just purling. I'm gonna try to show a close-up, I guess. This is just incredibly comfortable to purl, but to knit with this style is not logical at all. I'm gonna try to film a close-up of this technique so that I can, for you to understand how I purl. But whenever I'm working on a project like a cardigan where I have to purl for long periods of time, I sometimes go back and forth. So I purl and then I take the yarn off my neck and then I knit, which is a bit of a work, but you know, it allows me to purl without losing my mind. How to use it. My scrunchie bag is completed. All I have left is to seam it, which is so annoying. I don't know why. I've been avoiding it. So let's do it. Also, I don't know if any of you agree, but I feel like the seaming instructions are super confusing. Maybe I'm just dumb, but they are confusing to me. I don't know if this mic is working. Guys, I really am not a technologically smart person. I think I'm technologically dumb. So if this mic is not working, I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to tell. And then this like puffy thingy on top keeps falling off. I'm not sure I know how to attach it. Or like, I'm not sure whether it does anything, because on the instructions manual, it said to use it for windy days, but I see everybody using it while filming, so I don't know. I think I did something wrong here. Using a 4mm crochet hook to work with it. Honestly, if I wasn't filming myself working on this project, I think I would let it linger, just to not seam it. Seaming with a crochet hook is actually super easy. I just have no idea where or how to seam. I mean, the patterns has a lot of like pictures and it says like you're gonna seam here, you're gonna seam there. I had to look online to see a bunch of videos to understand. I still have no idea. I think I'm just gonna seam and then see what happens, because I'm not sure if you seam on top of the I-cord edge openings. If you don't, it's gonna be weird. If you do, how am I gonna put a cord through it? I think I'm just gonna go with the flow. Like, I'm not gonna try to understand the pattern, I think. Look, I just seamed the short side. It doesn't line up. Oh my god. Should I use a needle? Like, maybe I should seam it the wrong side, so it's a bit decorative. I don't know. Let's try to seam it this side. Should I use a black yarn to seam this? Or should I use the lighter yarn? I really don't know. Maybe I should use like this yarn, since it is already attached to the project. Let's see. I'm not sure I'm gonna like it this way, but we'll see, we'll see. And guys, I'm putting my hook like anywhere. At this point, I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. And just so you know, I do know how to crochet. The cardigan I'm wearing is a crochet one. Guys, I don't know what's going on with me, but ever since I shot that video talking about my whips, I just want to cast new things on. Like, I'm like, the only reason I made that video was to like work on my whips, but it made me even more excited to cast new stuff on. Guys, I'm not sure I like it. Oh my god, how long is this going to take? Maybe I should try to seam it with a needle. I'm gonna use this because I'm too lazy to get up and find my needle. Okay, let's try this as best as I can, because I don't really know. It is one of those things, like, I have to watch a tutorial every single time I do it, even though I know how to do it. Guys, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to do it. Like, maybe go into the weaves. And this needle is definitely too thick for this job. But I'm not gonna get up. Guys, I'm giving up because I don't think I have the like willpower to go through this right now. I'm sorry. How did you guys do this? It's so annoying. What am I gonna do? I want to be done with this project. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I feel like crocheting it is the fastest. I feel like crocheting it will be the fastest way, but it does leave a seam. Okay, guys. I think I'm gonna give up. I will seam this maybe like tonight because I wanna put this video out tomorrow. Also, I don't think I should hide this from you guys, but I have cast it on. Something new. No deadline or anything, but I'm telling this just to be transparent because I said I wouldn't cast stuff on. But to be fair on myself, I do work on my whips, like the other ones. So like there is my Lonely Leftovers vest, and I already did the 2 armholes. So all I have left is the I-cord edging of the entire body. And then I'm done. And then I've been working on my dog's sweater, which is like right here. This is how much yarn I have left on the ball, and then I have like 30 grams left. So yes, unfortunately, I do think I'm gonna have to frog the bonnet that I talked about. Yes, here is the said bonnet. I don't have a mirror nearby or anything, but I'm just gonna like show you guys. Honestly, I tried it the other day and I think it's gonna be really hard for me to frog this because like look at this. I can't see myself, but you get the point. Like this little tie, and then my vision was to wear like a long coat, this one like this, and then my glasses. Oh my gosh, this is actually really cute. I don't even see myself, but like I said, I think I'm gonna have to frog the bonnet. I mean, is it realistic to think that I'm gonna wear it? I don't think so, because I knit this around like March or something like that, and I thought I'm gonna knit this, but I know I'm not gonna be able to wear it because it's about to be summer. But then it was super cold for like 6 more weeks and I never wore it. So I don't really know whether I'm gonna wear this or not. But I do know that frogging it will be super painful for me. Yeah, enough of the rambling. I think I'm gonna go now and eat something and then maybe knit a bit, like knit a little bit. I wanna work on my, no, I should work on my dog's sweater or like any other whip, but I wanna work on this new project I cast it on. I don't have a deadline on my mind for it because I casted this on to use up my scraps. I think I will post a shorts video talking about the thought process behind my scrap yarn projects. It is the trio loop sweater by Other Loops, by the way. And ever since she published that pattern, I thought, wow, that would be a great project for stash busting. And I'm not particularly a person who's like constantly thinking about stash busting. In fact, I find like scrap yarn projects quite ugly. Yeah, like I said, I find the scrap yarn projects like quite ugly. And I refuse to knit anything that I think is unusable. So I like to knit fun things, right? I like to knit toys or like, I don't know, baskets, but I always use them. Or I always have someone that I know that's gonna use them. So in my mind, a scrap yarn project just to use up yarn, but I don't use it. Like I don't use the item I knitted or crocheted. It's just so, it just feels like a waste of my time. And I'm not saying this to be like whatever you knit should have an end result. I'm not trying to say that creative pursuits should produce something tangible. I think just knitting toys is a good way to use my yarn, because knitting a toy gives me joy, and then I display it, which gives me joy even more. But I'm talking about things like scrappy hat that I know I'm never gonna wear. I know some people do. Some people can pull it off. I just don't think I'm that person. So yeah, anyways, I am knitting the trio loop sweater with my scrap yarn. I'm gonna talk about this in depth in that shorts video, I think. But yeah, this is a project blog about the scrunchie bag, so I should stop rambling, I think. This felt like rambling because I haven't worked on my project ever since I finished it, mainly because I don't want to seam it. And then the bag asks you to have a paracord and then a stopper. You can use anything you want for the tie. You can use like a ribbon or like a crochet chain. And I originally thought I was gonna do an I-cord, but the more and more I think about it, I definitely want a paracord. But I know if I go to my local yarn store to purchase a paracord, I'm gonna wanna purchase yarn. And honestly, my stash is at a point that I do not need to purchase any yarn. Plus, I know I'm gonna purchase like not a sweater project quantity, but I know I will be tempted to pick up like a skein or two, which I never use afterwards. So like the last time I went to my local yarn store, I purchased two of these. It is the BC Garn Bio Balance. It says 55% organic wool and 45% organic cotton. Organic cotton. And I've been wanting to try a cotton wool yarn. So when I came across this, I felt like I needed to buy it. But because I only shop from the export access material stuff, I was only able to find two skeins, which is 100 grams, and it is 450 meters. I knit myself two camisole number 9s this year, and I know I need just a little over 100 grams of fingering weight yarn. So I know I'm not gonna be able to squeeze out a tank top from this, and I don't want a striped t-shirt. So tell me, what am I gonna do with this yarn? That's why I'm avoiding going to my local yarn store. And I started thinking, for a paracord and a stopper, I thought about a jacket that I haven't worn in the past 1.5 years. And I know it has paracord and it has stopper. And the paracord is this beautiful purpley color that I think will go great with my bag. But all of a sudden, that night, I wore that jacket out. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. I'm leaning towards taking the paracord out with the stopper because it is like at the bottom of the jacket and I never really use it. So I might do that. DIY queen. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna go eat something. I'm gonna knit some. Yeah, goodbye. Okay guys, I'm finally done seaming this bag. Honestly, I'm so fed up with this. You can see like my face got blushy because of like how overwhelmed I am at the moment. In fact, I made myself a giant honey water because I know when I drink it I'm gonna probably feel a bit better. So I'm done seaming the bag and I brought the jacket I talked about. Oh my god, like I have a fever. Literally, I have a fever right now because of like how upsetting this project got for me. I think you can tell I got a red face and I have a fever for sure. This is normal, by the way. It happens to me all the time. Whenever I do something that is a bit more tedious. I mean, not every time, but I think it was the thing with this project. Because I seamed and ripped it out a bunch of times, I think I just got really annoyed. Okay. So this is the jacket I was talking about. It is my dog walking jacket. I really like it. I mean, not like I really like it, but I like that it is a large and warm jacket. But as you can see, this is a tape because we were walking once. I think my dog was around like 2 years old at the time. If any of you have dogs, you probably know that they are definitely like monsters when they're growing up. So he just jumped onto me and ripped out my jacket, and then there was like a pet shop around the corner. I went there because from this slit, feathers were falling off, and then the guy there just put this tape on, which is like the name of the shop, and I've been wearing it like this, or not wearing it because of this. And this is the paracord I was talking about. I mean, I don't use this like bottom thingy. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. I did it. I mean, to be fair, this is already like frayed and stuff. I don't know how to show this. Like, look. This is already impossible for me to use. Okay, let me just take it out. Wow, this feels really weird. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, now we're gonna take this off, and then I will try to take out the paracord, but I don't know how to do it exactly because it is attached to this side. Looking around, is there any way I can get more paracord? I think I can get paracord from this side. But this one is not large either. Okay. I don't think I can take the paracord out, unfortunately, because I didn't think about the things I was gonna do. But at least we have a stopper. So now I think I should find some sort of thing that I can use as a cord. Okay guys, here are my options for the tie. I can make a crochet one. I can knit an I-cord with the yarn I knitted this with, or here are the other options. I have just like a lace from like a legging I had. It came off, I kept it. It looks something like this. And then actually I have paracords, so this color and this color. I'm gonna see. Look, what do you think? I think this looks pretty similar to this color, but since I liked the color of the paracord from my jacket, I think I'm gonna use this pink one actually. Let me see my pattern. I don't know if it is fair for me to talk about like my final thoughts on this, because I'm currently like overwhelmed and annoyed and upset. But as nice as it is, like the way it looks, this bag looks like something a super cool girl would wear. So I like the way this bag looks. But I'm not sure the instructions are the best. I would love to hear your opinions on this, because am I the only one that thinks this way? So like, because English is not my native language, maybe that's the reason why I'm struggling understanding this. So maybe if you have knit this pattern and you are a native English speaker, maybe you can tell me, like, is it because of me? Or like, is this pattern actually not the nicest? We're gonna put it through one of these, apparently. Okay, oh my gosh, I hope this works. Okay, it says, and then you pull it through this part. Guys, I don't know if it's the honey water or if it's seeing this come together. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I want to be objective with this pattern, okay? Maybe vlogging is good for this reason, because you just saw me go through every possible emotion in the entire world. But it is coming together and it's turning out kind of cute. But you know, we all knew this was gonna be cute, right? Oh my god. The reason I'm saying oh my god is simply because of how I changed my mind in 2 seconds. Like, this is coming together and it's beautiful. It's perfect. Maybe once you make it, like once you make it, it feels a little easier the next time. Maybe that's why no one is like really talking about this pattern the way I did at the beginning of this clip. Oh my, look. It's perfect. Look at it. Look at this. It's perfect. Oh my god. Perfection. I don't think at this point I can talk about this objectively because, like I said, I mean, just go back to the clip's beginning. Maybe this is exposing me as a person. Okay. It's been 22 minutes. So it's time to end this video, I think. We're done with the project. I'm happy with it. It's beautiful. But I still do want your opinions because, I don't know, maybe you've gone through the same thing or maybe you thought the pattern was perfectly clear. Tell me. I will wear this on my dog walk today because I don't have anywhere to go. We're done with the bag. We're done with the vlog. Thank you for watching. Thank you for like putting up with my like feelings. And I'll see you guys next time. I need some sort of a support. Okay?